Hello everyone, I'm Derek Anderson with Coinclarity, and this is your weekly crypto roundup. Let's get to the news. So, top of our headlines this week, Bitcoin ends July up 30%. And the bulls are rejoicing. Despite some rough and tumble moments in an atmosphere of high volatility, Bitcoin ended up 6% for the week, with the month of July closing with a rather unexpected 30% gain in its price. All in all, July was very good to Bitcoin, despite earlier predictions that prices would remain in the doldrums until big-time investors and trading firms returned to their work desks after their summer vacations. Unlike as seen in traditional markets, the adage, sell in May and then go away, isn't necessarily true when applied to cryptocurrency markets. Or at least with Bitcoin. The top 50 altcoins posted an average 8.5% loss against Bitcoin during the last week of July. Next up in our headlines, the Bitcoin ETF application has been rejected, and the markets rebounded quickly. The famed Winklevoss twins had their bid for the formation of a Bitcoin ETF rejected for the second time in 17 months, causing the price of Bitcoin to quickly recede 6% in the immediate aftermath, only to regain most of its losses less than 24 hours later. Bitcoin's quick rebound proved that recent market gains had not been due solely to the anticipation of the SEC's decision, and that there might be something more behind this recent bull rally. As mentioned in previous editions of the weekly roundup, an ETF, or exchange-traded fund, is basically a stock market symbol that represents indirect ownership in Bitcoin, or at least its future welfare. Instead of being backed by the assets and performance of a company or corporation, ETFs are backed by commodities and driven by the trading activity of the commodity. If a Bitcoin trading vehicle were ever listed on the likes of a leading stock exchange such as NASDAQ, it would open up Bitcoin trading to a whole new category of investors and almost assuredly spark an increase in the price of Bitcoin. Interestingly, SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce publicly disagreed with the vote of the commission following its decision, tweeting the following in a rare moment of discord, quote, "Apparently, Bitcoin is not ripe enough, respectable enough, or regulated enough to be worthy of our markets. I dissent," end quote. Among the reasons given by the SEC as to why the Winklevoss' Gemini exchange was unready to handle the responsibility of being a managed Bitcoin ETF was their opinion that it did not have measures in place to effectively prevent market manipulation or insider trading of Bitcoin. In a statement published on the SEC's website, Commissioner Pierce outlined her arguments as to why the implementation of a Bitcoin ETF would act as a stabilizing force and be genuinely positive for all categories of Bitcoin investors. Quote, "I am concerned that the Commission's approach undermines investor protection by precluding greater institutionalization of the Bitcoin market. More institutional participation would ameliorate any of the Commission's concerns with the Bitcoin market that underlie its disapproval order. More generally, the Commission's interpretation and application of the statutory standards sends a strong signal that innovation is unwelcome in our markets, a signal that may have effects far beyond the fate of Bitcoin ETFs," end quote. The battle for a Bitcoin ETF remains far from over, as several other applications remain lined up to square off against the SEC in a fight for recognition and legitimization. Expert opinions of their success and impact on Bitcoin remain varied far and wide, from ushering in a drastic price increase to never happening at all. Regardless, continued price movement remains, perhaps signifying that the sum of trader wisdom is projecting an eventual, albeit untimed, happy ending to the Bitcoin ETF story. Next up in our headlines, we have our coins bucking the trend segment. Though July was very kind to Bitcoin, most other coins can't say the same, with only 5 out of the top 50 postings gaining against Bitcoin in the past week. In an index we developed called the Goodness Index, 2 coins in the top 50 were identified as bona fide movers and shakers, bucking the trend of a bearish altcoin market. The Goodness Index is comprised of 2 coin metrics. The formula for the index is thus as follows. The point of creating the formula in this manner was to identify which coins had a high amount of recent volume and week-long gains versus Bitcoin. For example, if a coin had lost against Bitcoin, its goodness index would always be negative, regardless of its volume. If a coin had a gain against Bitcoin but low trading volume, its goodness index would be small but positive. If a coin had a big gain against Bitcoin and high trading volume, the goodness index would be a high positive number. And these are the coins that we're looking for. Since last week was bad for most alts, the average goodness index was negative 7.88, with a standard deviation of 22.57. That means that coins with a goodness index score greater than 14.69 are statistically interesting and out of the norm, of which there were 2 over the last week. It should be noted that Bitcoin and Tether were removed from the top 50 when compiling averages. Let's take a closer look at those coins now. First up, we have Mithril, Myth on the exchanges with a goodness index of 93.53. Only hitting markets in late March of this year, Mithril was a huge up-and-comer, taking less than a month to develop a market cap of over 300 million. Mithril is an Ethereum token designed to reward social media posters for posting popular content. Its website describes it as a, quote, decentralized social media platform that rewards all content creators, end quote. Under this premise, they believe that not only the largest and most powerful content creators should be rewarded for their social media contributions, and that everybody should have a chance for monetization of their content. Right now, their distribution is limited only to the lit social media platform, but have plans to expand their reach to all other platforms, new and old. So how is Mithril up over 10% against Bitcoin over the past week on an extraordinary high trading volume? Their decentralized social media platform, Lit, is managing to catch on extremely quickly, attracting users hoping to escape the likes of Facebook, where data can be unwittingly sold and accessed by third parties for perhaps nefarious reasons. They're also attracting content creators fleeing YouTube who feel alienated by their new restrictive monetization policies, which basically render the vast majority of all channel owners ineligible for ad revenue. Combined with an active PR team that is looking to expand Mithril's reaches to huge social media markets like Korea and Japan, is a thriving user community that is seeking to add new members to Lit so that their own content can generate more Mithril tokens for themselves. Mithril tweeted on July 29, 2018, quote, "We want to express our heartfelt thanks to the voters that support us for the Binance Community Coin of the Month election. We are honored and humbled that you have placed your trust in Mithril. We will not disappoint." End quote. What also doesn't hurt is that Mithril is currently leading the competition in Binance's current round of voting for which coin they should add to their exchange next. The, quote, Binance bump, end quote, has never hurt anybody to be listed on the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange. In conclusion, it's quite possible that Mithril and Lit are at the forefront of a new wave of social media platforms that are decentralized and profitable for users. And if this is the case, expect the tremendous success of Mithril to continue well into the foreseeable future. Second on our list is Zcash, ZEC on the exchanges, with a goodness index of 18.49. The anonymity-driven coin Zcash is firmly holding the number 2 spot, up over 10% in the last 7 days on pretty substantial volume. One of the older coins on the market that is still enjoying a tremendous degree of success, Zcash describes itself as, quote, the first open, permissionless cryptocurrency that can fully protect the privacy of transactions using zero-knowledge cryptography. Zcash is different from the clear majority of altcoins in that it not only offers a proven, unhackable way to remain anonymous during transfer, but it also enjoys real-world utility as a choice of currency, even if mainly only on the dark markets. So why is Zcash continuing to fare well in a decidedly bear market for altcoins? For one, the coin received some pretty praising media coverage by none other than stock exchange giant Nasdaq, who hailed the coin as, quote, the king of crypto privacy, end quote. As Nasdaq publications are read by serious-minded investors worldwide, a few of them probably decided to jump on board the ZEC ship, helping to bolster its price. In addition, in an announcement by crypto security and storage company BitGo, that the company was about to include Zcash in its wallet services, meaning Zcash holders could use BitGo to perform complicated multi-signature transactions and use its cold storage services, both of which are considered to be among the best in the industry. These two events, which add a certifiable degree of credibility to the coin, help Zcash's case for being the go-to privacy coin out of about 8 serious competitors to choose from. In case you're curious, the worst performing coins for the last week out of the top 50, according to the Goodness Index, were Bytum, BTM, down 7.7% against Bitcoin on heavy volume, with a Goodness Index of negative 53.54. Augur, REP on the index, with down 22.6% against Bitcoin with a Goodness Index of negative 68.02, and Quantum, QTUM, down 11% against Bitcoin with a Goodness Index of negative 81.59. Also, in case you missed it, in the past few weeks we here at Coinclarity have significantly updated our dApps section to provide you with a comprehensive list of the dApps, or decentralized applications, for multiple coin platforms. If you're still unfamiliar, these new types of programs, whether desktop or mobile-based, allows for the seamless connection of a cryptocurrency blockchain with an application to provide a range of customized crypto-based services. From advanced wallet and trading services to entertainment to business management and much, much more, dApps are becoming the wave of the crypto future as they find more and more ways to integrate cryptocurrency with mainstream internet services. In our new dApps layout, you can browse dApps by coin platform, service category, or tag, so feel free to check it out, and there'll be a link in the description below. That's it for our headlines for this week. If you like this video and want to comment, you can find those links in the description below, and as always, hit that subscribe button for the latest news, reviews, and updates on the world of cryptocurrency. I've been Derek Anderson. Stay classy, people.